Hey everybody, this is Chuck Moran with Strong Towns. The other day I talked about Dunkin Donuts. I said we got a brand new Dunkin Donuts here in my hometown of Brainerd, Minnesota. I wrote a story about Dunkin Donuts a few years back when they announced that they were coming to Minnesota. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we had no Dunkin Donuts. Dunkin Donuts said, hey, we're gonna open 50 franchises in Minnesota. And again, everybody went nuts. Yay, we're getting Dunkin Donuts. We must be important to somebody. I looked into what it took to start a Dunkin Donuts. It was really interesting because they were very upfront on their website. If you're interested in starting a franchise, we want to hear from you. Here are the requirements. And essentially the requirements were that you be already rich, right? That you already have a significant amount of money. Dunkin Donuts, the franchise, requires people who want to start a Dunkin Donuts to have $500,000 of liquid net worth. Now, for those of you that are not investor money people, liquid net worth is different than net worth. You might have a house that's worth $1 million and you don't own anything. That's not liquid because you can't go just get that money tomorrow. Liquid net worth means you got $500,000 kind of lying around somewhere where you can get at it. This doesn't mean that you have to spend $500,000 or give them $500,000. It just means that you've got to have so much money where you've got $500,000 that you can just readily get to. That was one of there were only like 3 requirements. That was like the main requirement, was that you have a significant net worth. Now, it got me thinking about what does it actually take to start a donut shop, right? What does it actually require to sell donuts? Selling donuts is about the easiest kind of business that you can get into. The senior center here in Brainerd has sold donuts for decades. And they sell donuts because a bunch of old people can get up on a Thursday morning, Thursday's donut day. They can make donuts and they can sell them. It's like a relatively easy business, right? If you were gonna do this in a retail place, what do you need? You need a till or some type of mechanism to take orders and transact. You need a counter with like maybe a display, maybe not even, but basically like somewhere to transact business. You need a deep fryer and you need ingredients. It's a pretty low cost startup enterprise. In fact, an entrepreneur that was super into donuts and wanted to do something unique and fun and interesting could start a donut shop relatively easy. They get in a building, get it going, and get it started. I contrast these two because it's important to understand. We use the word entrepreneur. We talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about growth and investment and creating jobs and businesses and all this. But there's a huge difference between an entrepreneur and an investor. And I think it's typified in this Dunkin Donuts, right? Dunkin Donuts is looking for an investor. An investor is someone who has money, who is looking to deploy that money in a way that creates a return. In a case of Dunkin Donuts, they're actually saying, this hometown of mine, Brainerd, this is a place where if we put a Dunkin Donuts in there, we can have a lot of transactions. It's on the main road through town. We can have a drive-through. We can do a high volume. And in a sense, we can deploy a local investor to extract money out of the community. An entrepreneur, at its heart, an entrepreneur is a crazy person with an idea who doesn't know that they can fail, right? There's someone with a passion for something. Maybe it's donuts, maybe it's something else. They've got a passion. They don't really respect the idea that this is hard. They just really, really care about this thing and they want to go do it. That's an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs, if we think of like a donut shop, an entrepreneur starting a donut shop, an entrepreneur is actually the kind of person who doesn't extract wealth. They're the kind of person who builds wealth. They're the kind of person who starts in the neighborhood, in the community, and grows the business from literally nothing, using their hard work, their sweat equity, the little bit of capital that they can get their hands on. Nassim Taleb once said that we should have statues in our communities for failed entrepreneurs, because he said they're like soldiers. They're people who just go out and put it all on the line, and everybody else benefits from them doing that. Entrepreneurs are heroes, and we actually need to have more entrepreneurs. I can tell you what we're never going to have in Brainerd. We're never going to have an entrepreneur who opens a donut shop. Why? Because we decided that we were going to tilt the scales and make Dunkin Donuts not only the default thing to do, but the easiest thing to do. Nothing happened at that site for years. Nothing happened on that corridor for years, because the only thing that could go in there was something that was going to be auto-oriented drive-through, like a Dunkin Donuts. Not because of the ordinances. We fixed the ordinances, so that's not the only thing you could do. But the ordinances are a burden. But the bigger thing is just the economics of the area. We have made this corridor into an auto-dominated area. And therefore, if you want to have neighborhood-focused stuff, good luck getting a start there. At the end of the day, we should be talking about entrepreneurship, not about investors. And let me just, final clarification. Communities need investors, no doubt. No doubt. Investors are not bad, right? But we shouldn't have investors doing things that entrepreneurs can do. Then you crowd them out. Take care, everybody.